Coming up next, I'm going to teach you about the right way to start the job hunt. And then, in-demand workers now have a demand of their own. We'll break that down. And we've got some funny I quit moments. And of course, we take your calls, and it all starts right now. All right, welcome to the Ken Coleman Show. We're coming to you live from our Ramsey Solutions studios in Nashville. And you've joined a conversation about you, specifically what you were born to do. And we're talking about that from a work perspective, because there is a purposeful role that you were created to fill in your work, through your work. That means you are needed, and it means you must do it. There's more to work than just the job that gives you a paycheck. There is, in fact, purpose. And we want to help you figure out what that is. We've got 7 stages that is a clear path to not only discovering what you were born to do, but to actually do it and to truly work and live like no one else. 844-747-2577 is the phone number. 844-747-2577 is the number. Thrilled to have all of you watching live on YouTube, and those that watch later, thank you as well. As you're watching, just want to remind you from time to time, if you enjoy the program, will you just click that thumbs up button right there below the video window. If you haven't subscribed, would you consider doing it? And if a particular episode does encourage you, or you think it'd be encouragement to a friend or family member, click that share button. And in just moments, you can share the link with somebody else, and hopefully it will encourage and equip them. All right, let's get started here. So what's the right way to start the job hunt? Or another way of saying this is, what do I do before I start the hunt? And I love that this is a very well-known phrase, the job hunt, because it really does supply, I think, a great metaphor for how so many people hunt the wrong way or forget to do this all-important step or action before they start the hunt. So let's just take this hunting analogy. Now, I come from a long line of hunters. I am not a big hunter myself, okay? Largely because I don't like to get up at 3 or 4 in the morning and freeze and deal with all of that. It's just not my bag. I like watching hunting shows. I love outdoor shows, but I'm just not a big hunter. However, I come from a long line of hunters, and so I know a little bit about hunting. And here's what I know, that a hunter doesn't just get up randomly one day and walk out and go to a place in the wilderness or in the woods and just aimlessly walk about looking for something to hunt. Nobody does that. No hunter does that. It's outrageous and silly just to think of it. So what's the key to a successful hunt for a hunter? Well, number one, they're very specific in what they're hunting, so they know what they're looking for. And because they know what they're looking for, they know where to look. And because they know where to look, they have a much greater chance of getting what they're hunting. But we don't look at the job hunt this way. Imagine a hunter just getting out in the woods going, okay, I don't know what I'm hunting, but I'm just going to kind of walk around and hope I see something. Very frustrating. But that's how a lot of people do job hunts. You get online, you go to job sites, things of that nature, and you just start looking. And you look over here and you look over there. That's interesting. And you keep getting distracted. I don't even know if Nathan knows what these are. I know Joe and Amanda do, but like many years ago, well, not that far ago. I'm sorry, Nathan. I shouldn't even act that way to you. You're not that young. Do you remember the Sky Mall? The catalog in the back of the seat? Those are long gone, I'm sure, because of germs. But there used to be a Sky Mall catalog in the back of the airplane seat. And I'm just going to further this analogy for a moment, because the job search for so many people, the job hunt, it's like that. It's like the hunter walking aimlessly, but it's even like the Sky Mall. Okay, I'm bored. Let me see here. I'm going to look for something maybe cool to buy. And so I get out a catalog. I don't even know what I want. I just keep looking. I get distracted by this, and then I get distracted by this. And then it's just all a bunch of purposelessness and browsing. Well, can I just tell you, I think browsing is counterproductive for the job searcher. I think not knowing what you're hunting for is incredibly frustrating for a hunter. So what do we do before we start the job search, the job hunt? Let's determine what it is that we're hunting. Once we know what we're hunting, we know where to look for said job or animal, right? And because we know where to look, we begin to study what is it going to take to actually bag the job. Hello. Getting clear, getting qualified, getting connected, first 3 stages of the 7 stages. And so I have a much greater opportunity, much greater percentage chance of bagging the job. So to this end, the Get Clear Career Assessment is a great place to start. We've got it now. Been working on it for over 2 years. It's out, kencoleman.com. It's $30. It's about a 15-minute assessment, and it is going to unveil for you, illuminate for you, the 3 indicators that everyone needs to get aware of in order to be clear, to know what you're born to do. They are talent. That's what you do best. We're going to help you identify your top 3, but you'll see where you rank on the 12 universal talents. Think of these as tools to do the work you love. That leads to passion, work you love. 15 universal types of work. We're just, of course, summarizing. This is work you love. And then finally, 6 motivational drivers, missional results that you are driven by. That's what the assessment's going to do for you. And then you're going to see the alignment. You're going to see professional possibilities. And now all of a sudden, I know what I'm hunting. I know what I'm looking for. That's huge. Now we can begin the hunt, but not until we know what we're looking for, where that is, and how we get it. But you first must be clear. And the Get Clear Career Assessment is a wonderful tool. I'll point out while I'm talking about it that it is the tool in stage 1, Get Clear. It is the tool I've created to help as many people as possible get clear. Of course, I've got the show where I can talk with you. And then we've got the brand new book, From Paycheck to Purpose. It's now available for pre-order. And the first 2 chapters help you with the Get Clear stage. But the assessment is an accelerator. And you can get the assessment for $30 and also get the book with that. Hello. So the assessment essentially becomes $10. The pre-order price for the new book, From Paycheck to Purpose, is $20. It's the clear path to doing work you love. So think of the assessment as helps me identify the mountain, and the book helps me climb the mountain. Together they are everything you need to do what you were born to do. So kencoleman.com is the place to get those. All right, let's get to the phone. Traverse City, Michigan. Mary is on the line. Mary, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hello, Ken.
Hi,
Thank
Mary.
you so much. I'm really excited to talk to you. I have been a 60 to 80 hour a week career worker.
Oh my goodness.
I'm 53 years old, and I am at the end of my rope.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I
okay.
took your assessment.
Yeah.
And I really need to get off this train. Yeah. And I haven't been able to figure out physically how to do it.
Okay.
It's destroyed our marriage. Mm-hmm. We've been followers of Dave Ramsey for many years. Yeah. We're in a good financial position where our retirement fund is very well funded. My kids' college, that's all paid for and done. Our house is paid off. But when can I stop, and how can I transition to something that's great?
Okay. So this is so great that you've called. I don't know if you heard the first part of the show, but
I did.
But we've got to get you clear, and you took the Get Clear Career Assessment. Is that right?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got to walk through it. We got to walk through it. Now, we can walk through it at whatever pace you need to. It spit out your top 3 talents. It gave you your top 3 passions, your work you love, and then it gave you a primary mission. And then it gave you some professional possibilities where we ask you to cross out the ones that don't fit, don't make any sense, circle the ones that make a lot of sense. We give you a purpose statement when you read it, and you're just able to go, I'm supposed to use what I do best, to do work I love, to produce results that matter to me. So when you do that, what did you see? How did it point you?
Well, It's so interesting because the top talents were in the area that I'm working.
That's okay.
I'm in sales and a sales manager and have been for 30 years.
Yeah.
So communication, connection, and persuasion.
Yes.
And the mission that I'm always focused around is achievement, which it totally feeds me. But I feel so much pressure to perform. And it's just been going on too long.
Okay, so here's the deal. Here's what's awesome. All the assessment did was confirm for you what you were created to do. So that it wasn't so much a different light bulb for you. It just confirmed it, which is really exciting. Here's why. You're doing the right thing in the wrong place.
Mm-hmm.
You've been doing the right thing in the wrong places. If your entire career, you've been working 60 to 80 hour weeks, you've been doing it in the wrong environment because nobody's made to work that much. That's insanity. So just because this points to a sales job doesn't mean it couldn't point to a leadership job. Doesn't mean that it couldn't point to some other job that is very based around communication, connection, and persuasion. What were your top 3 passions? You didn't give me that.
Yeah, leading, promoting, persuasion. So I've been a sales leader for 11 years.
Yeah.
Very high-performing team, high revenue-generating team.
So why are you working 60 to 80 hours a week? Why?
Well, a lot of corporate pressure.
Wait a second.
I'd love to be an entrepreneur.
Wait.
Yeah.
Because this is important. Corporate pressure. You had a leader telling you that you had to work 60 to 80 hours a week?
Well, it's expectations on responsiveness on all of these projects. I'm always recruited for, you're a high potential person and we want you on this and we need help on that. And there's a lot of, the requests over the weekend and evenings and,
okay, so hold on. So let me tell you something, what I hear, and I'm not picking on you. I'm coaching you right now. Sounds like you have a hard time saying no.
I do. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And there have to be boundaries. Now, I'm also acknowledging that it is possible that for many, many years you had people saying, yeah, you've got to answer emails at night. You've got to answer emails and respond and do stuff on the weekend. I didn't get a clear answer on that. And I think it's because nobody told you had to do it. That was a self-imposed pressure because of realistically high expectations. Like there's a question
achievement.
Yes, but see, that's the issue. Achievement. There is nothing wrong with achievement, throwing up scores on the scoreboard as being your missional result. This is so exciting to me, as this is why I added mission to my methodology, because I wanted people to see what's the driving motivator for my work, and for you, it's achievement. But there are, if you'll recall, do you have your results in front of you?
Well, they're on my phone.
Okay, never mind. All right, never mind.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you read your missional result of achievement? Do you remember me showing you that there were missional missteps? If you weren't careful, you could go the other way. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
They were pretty spot on, I'm hoping.
Yeah, they were.
Okay, so here's the key. Everything I'm hearing right now is because you're so driven by achievement that you've allowed personal gaps, personal pain to influence your work life. And because of that, you're trying to fill a hole of personal achievement, not just professional achievement. See, professional achievement and driving results is a very pure result, missional result. But when it becomes a salve, a medicine to heal a personal wound, it can get out of balance. Am I starting to sound right to you?
Yeah.
Now, here's what's happened. So now you try to fill a personal hole through a professional means, and that's what gets 60 and 80-hour weeks, which then kill my marriage, because my whole worth is centered around my professional achievement as opposed to keeping it pure. You've lost yourself. That's what I think.
Wow.
So if I can push you a little bit more, and you don't have to share super detailed answers, you be as detailed, as vulnerable as you want to be right now. But this is not a professional problem. This is a personal problem. And the assessment results are basically validating that you've been doing the right kind of work, but you aren't putting personal boundaries around it. So what's the hole? What's the affirmation hole in your life? Where's it coming from?
Well, my husband was a stay-at-home dad, and we moved to allow for me to calm down with my job and not to have so much pressure. And with the intent that he was going to start working and start to pick up in some of the slack and that there would be some balance. And he didn't find a job for 7 years. And when he did, it was a warehouse clerk position that really couldn't support things. So I just kept going. And I grew up with a single mom.
Yeah.
So not letting things fall was very important.
Yeah.
And I saw that accomplishing all these things was holding the house up.
Yep.
And that it was all on me.
Yep.
That the house could fall.
Yep. Yep. But there's so much there. There's more stuff there that I think for this next season of your life, you're going to have to dig in and go, what about my childhood, having a single mom, achieving. That's coming from a hole where you feel like you're not enough and somebody didn't believe you were enough. And then you begin to believe you weren't enough. And then the husband situation, if I could be so bold as to say, when somebody tells me that he couldn't find a job in 7 years, that's not true. He didn't choose a job for 7 years. And
I felt
know
like
it.
He didn't try.
Huh?
I felt like he didn't try.
That's exactly what I just said. We're saying the same thing, and there's resentment there.
Yeah.
He didn't try. Nobody in the United States goes 7 years and can't find a job. That's a factually incorrect statement.
Yes.
He didn't choose a job. He needs to choose a job. This is also a big relationship. I think you guys need marriage counseling. And I think you guys got to decide, do we want to fight for us? And if we're willing to fight for us, it's not fighting each other and lobbing accusations, but it's going, I can't keep this up. I can't keep this up. And that's the relationship stuff, because you've already acknowledged you can't keep this up professionally. Nobody's making you work 60 to 8 hours a week. You're doing it because it is keeping you from acknowledging the pain in your personal life. That's what's going on. Because the busier you are and the harder you work, the more valuable you feel, and you also don't have any time emotionally because you're exhausted. Physically, you're exhausted. You have nothing left to deal with the other issues. So I would tell you you're using it as a crutch. Now, all that to say, the good news is you've been in your sweet spot doing that kind of work, and maybe you need a change to where there are no expectations, because right now everybody thinks that they're going to get an email from you anytime they send it. So maybe you do have to change places, and it's a fresh beginning for you, but you still need to be in that type of role that you're in. You just need boundaries. But I don't think you're healthy enough right now to even put a boundary in place. Maybe you are. I know you can do it. I really am saying it. Will you be able to do it? But I would like for you, Mary, to just go, all right, no more. I'm working 45 hours a week, and that is what it is, and I'm going to learn how to delegate, and I'm going to learn how to lead. I'm going to reset expectations. I know you can do it. The question is, are you healthy enough to where you will do it? But can I just share with you, the sun is coming out. You're in a storm, but you and your hubs have got to get serious about you all. You got to get healthy too. It may even start with you getting some counseling first. That's what I think.
Yes. So, well, we've been in counseling for a year.
Good.
And he's gotten a job.
Good.
A great job.
Great.
Yeah.
This is all good news. I didn't even know this. Very exciting.
Yeah, sorry. And but the marriage, it's over. It's too late. So anyway,
I don't think it's too late.
It feels it just feels like there's nothing there anymore. It's a marriage of convenience.
Even with a year of
And,
counseling, does your counselor agree with this?
It's interesting. The counselor just it keeps asking us what our decisions are. My husband is very wants to stay together, but he's very unhappy all the time. And I'm usually a very positive person.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't sound like that on this call.
That's
but
okay.
I'm an eternal optimist.
I believe that.
And he just brings me down all the time, and I don't feel connected to him, and he's, so.
Yeah, well, he's dealing with his own pain.
Yes.
But I'm going to tell you something right now. And this is an unprofessional counseling opinion, but I feel like I've got some insight on this. You trying to make him happy is not going to work. I think you've got to get healthy. And I think you need to say that to your counselor in front of him and go, hey, I need to work on me. How can I work on me? Take the lead on this and see if your husband will follow the next counseling session.
Mm-hmm.
Say, hey, babe, I need you to tell me all the ways I hurt you. I wish he would take the lead as the man, but the reality is he's hurting and I'm not beating up on your hubs. But I think I'd go that direction in counseling. Let your husband speak. Listen to him tell you how you hurt him and blah, 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 blah. And then I'd also get him the Get Clear career assessment, let him take it. I know he's got a really good job, but I just think there needs to be some purpose in his life as well.
There does.
And I think that if he takes the assessment, it might be a safe way of having a conversation around it. But I would first in the next counseling session go, hey, he's so unhappy, and I feel like I got to talk about what am I doing? I want to get healthy with him, with you. So I'm okay with you focusing on me in front of him. I would take that lead and see what happens. Now, if your counselor says that's not healthy, I would trust the counselor. But I think that's healthy. I think it's very interesting because I think he's got to see you fighting to get whole yourself so that you can be to him. But I definitely think it's worth it. I definitely think it's worth it. Don't quit on this thing. All right?
Okay.
Now listen to me.
Thank you.
Back to full circle here. We covered a lot here. Okay.
We did.
I know. But listen, this matters. I think you've got to decide, do you need a new environment in the workplace so that you can start fresh and start putting these boundaries in place? And so I'm not telling you to quit and leave. Okay. I'm telling you not to make any rash decisions or quick decisions because you're in pain. Okay. But you are right. You got to get off of this treadmill. So there's two ways to do it. One, you slow yourself down to where it's easy to step off and you get some time away, maybe just for yourself, and it's a spa weekend and you just downshift just in temporary form. The other way is you get on a different treadmill where the speed isn't the same because you realize I don't have to set this speed, but you have got to stop avoiding your relationship problems by working so hard. I think you're the problem. And you know I'm saying that from a place of love. I think you feel that.
I do.
I'm not judging you right now. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Do not quit on your husband. Okay?
Okay.
Even if he's quit on you, don't you quit.
Okay.
All right, Mary. Go get some help. Oh, that's good. That's hard, but it's good. It's hard. It's really hard. I sense that there are other people that are watching this live or will watch this later who are in a very similar situation. And so I feel like I've got to say this. You can be absolutely in your sweet spot doing what you were created to do, and Mary is. Talent, passion, and mission lined up. You heard her say it when she took the assessment. She thought she was going to get some results that said, hey, you got to go a different direction. But all it did was confirm. And then she's like, huh? But working 60, 80 hours a week, when someone's not standing over top of you saying this is the only way you get to keep this job, means that you are the issue and you are using work and that amount of work as an excuse to avoid pain and problems. But the irony of that is it just increases the pain. It magnifies the problem. I will tell you personally that this matters so deeply to me. This concept that I was created to fill a unique role. There's a calling where I'm just supposed to contribute to the world in my unique way. I believe it with everything in my being. And I believe in dream jobs. I believe in it. Because a dream job is just a way of defining a job where you're just in your zone. You're using what you do best to do what you love, to create results that matter to you. That's all it is. It's stage 6 because it takes a while to step into one of those roles, right? But remember, there's a 7th stage to give yourself away. But see, we aren't just professional human beings. I really believe we are relational first and foremost, and then there is professional purpose. But before professional purpose, there's relationship purpose. Let me make no bones about that. And so you can be in the dream job and your life falling apart, and it doesn't even feel like a dream job. And I will tell you right now, I am in my dream job. I am where I'm supposed to be at Ramsey Solutions. I am doing what God has created me to do. But can I just tell you something? If I had to choose between this and my family, it's not even up for vote. It's not even up for vote. I'm going to choose my family every time. I'm going to choose my family. I'd walk away and it'd kill me. It would crush me. But we are relational and professional. And you cannot hide relational problems with professional success. You just can't. You just cannot do it. And I'm afraid so many people are trying to do it. And no matter how successful you are, how much you achieve, you will never fill the hole in your heart. You just won't. Can I tell you that I believe marriages can be rebuilt? I really do. I believe parental and children and breaks in those relationships, I believe it can be rebuilt. I really do. So, there's a lot of Marys out there. And you can call this show. We'll talk through it. I'm no professional counselor. But we've got to talk about this. We have got to talk about this. 844-747-2577. Okay, that took a little longer, but it needed to happen. Can I get an amen? I mean, I'm just going to tell you. There's some people in broadcasting that go, oh, it was too long of a call. Well, I don't really give two freaking craps what you think about that, because I'll be honest with you, this is not a performance for me. This is about purpose, and we needed to have that conversation with Mary. So if you call me, I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to help you. We're going to help you. But we got to do a quick break. Joe, let's do a quick break, and I'll talk about the things I need to talk about next. But we're going to keep going. It's going to be a good show. Don't move. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs.
We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org.
We absolutely believe in it.
Okay, folks, welcome back. It's the Ken Coleman Show. We're helping you discover and then do what you were born to do. And that means that you're going to have to put yourself out there. You're going to have to step out of the boat. And boy, that's painful, right? It's stressful. The job search process, we opened up the show, it's overwhelming at times. And you feel like you're just wasting a bunch of your time, the most valuable thing you have, applying for jobs. But the good news, there's so many jobs out there right now, and if you're applying the right way, it won't It won't eat up all your time. The best way to tap into this competitive job market and get ahead is to get connected with my friends at ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is the #1 job site in the U.S., and they're acting as your personal recruiter by connecting you with jobs and companies that are a good fit for you. They present your profile to employers who are looking for someone just like you, and they notify you when your application has been viewed or liked. That's going to save you a lot of time and energy. And you're applying for jobs with one click. That's why I love ZipRecruiter. It's the job search process that you deserve because it's easy. They do the work for you, and it's 100% free. So sign up for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. It's free, and it's the best way to find a job. Put ZipRecruiter to work for you. ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. 844-747-2577. Okay, we got a lot to get to. Let's do this. It's time for In the News. All right, NewYorkTimes.com is the source of this article. New York Times, of course, putting this out. Here's the headline. Workers in demand have a new demand of their own, and it's a career path. So they cite a guy by the name of Mark Ray. I love the story. So Mark was working at a concession stand at a movie theater when the pandemic hit. The movie theater, of course, shut down, and he lost his job. But instead of looking for another low-wage job, Mark sought a different path. He found a program teaching basic technology and business skills, completed it, and landed a job at a fast-growing online company. And he started in March of this year, working in customer service and tech support. He now makes about $55,000 a year compared to what he was making at the movie theater, which is $17,000. I love this quote. Ray says, by the way, he's only a high school grad. He said, the pandemic weirdly was an opportunity. And this job is a huge stepping stone for me. He is right. And so people are now kind of going, look, I'm not just looking for a job. If I got displaced by the pandemic, a lot of people are going, now's the time to pick a path. Hello, I'm super excited about that in the brand new book, From Paycheck to Purpose, The Clear Path to Doing Work You Love. Here's what's going on. As you know, I've been reporting on the show. Companies have struggled to fill jobs for tasks like waiting on tables, stocking shelves, flipping burgers. Nearly 40% of former workers in the nation's hospitality industry say they do not plan to go back to jobs in the hospitality industry. This is according to a job list, an employment search engine. Very interesting. I'm not surprised by this. And so what are employers doing because of this? They are posting positions, and when they do not require a 4-year degree, they are including the terms like career advancement, tuition reimbursement, 35% more often from March through July 2 years ago. So they're starting to really put in this career advancement, some type of tuition, reimbursement or help. And they're also saying things like training will train you. So both the term career advancement and training are up in job descriptions. Employers are putting those words, which I applaud that. That's the right narrative. They're up 35% for career advancement and 32% in training. So they're just being used that much more often. So really, really interesting there. And it's a good time for me to mention, if you're new to the show, my brand new book is, I can tell you with pride, because the team and I worked on this and tested it. And you, the people, said, we like the title, From Paycheck to Purpose. The Clear Path to Doing Work You Love, because it addresses the two emotions, the two needs associated with work. Paycheck is provision, and purpose is contribution. And so it involves, the book is all about the 7 stages. I unpack each stage, what you do in each stage, how you move to the next one, practical things at the end of each chapter for you to process and do. So this is really interesting with a lot of workers going, I'm not going back. Did you hear that? 38% of hospitality workers said, we're not going back. We're going to pivot to do something that is a career path. So the time is now. Really interesting stuff. KenColeman.com is where you go to pre-order the brand new book, From Paycheck to Purpose. And while you're there, you get the ebook and the audiobook with the $20 purchase point, plus $100 worth of goodies. And if you really want to get clear, for $30, you can get the book, the ebook, the audiobook, the $100 of freebies, and the Get Clear Career Assessment for an additional $10. So that's an unbelievable deal. So go check that out. 844-747-2577 is the phone number. What kind of time we got here? I want to do this. Let's go to Monticello, Minnesota, where Katie joins us on the line. Katie, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken, it's great to talk to you. I've been a big fan of yours since I graduated college, and you helped me get my first job.
Oh, yay. Well, I'm so glad you called. I'm excited to talk to you. What's up?
So I've been working at a newspaper as a reporter for the last year, and recently they presented me with what I thought was going to be a promotion, but it feels like kind of like a half step backwards.
Why is that?
So when I started, I was commission only. They would pay me based on the articles I could provide for them. How many articles I could provide for them was up to me. And then if they used it, they would pay me. If they didn't, then tough luck, whatever. That was fine.
Yeah.
And I was thrilled about that because it was totally within my power to go and get more if I needed more and to cut back if it was a rough week. I loved that.
Yeah.
And then I started picking up some tasks in the office. So my boss said to me, "Hey, Katie, you're working so hard helping me out with advertisements and other stuff that's not within your job description. So we're going to also pay you 20 hours a week for office work." And I thought, that's awesome. I am so happy about that. I still didn't have any set hours, but I was super happy with the setup.
Okay.
And he said, after you work here for 6 months, we're going to talk about full-time and talk about moving forward. And I said, that sounds great. So 6 months came by and nobody said anything. So I just kind of started dropping hints. Every time he said, "Hey, good job with this," I said, "Well, I'm gunning for a promotion," just kind of being nice about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, we know, we're going to talk about it." And then a couple months ago, he pulled me aside and said that they wanted me to switch over to a salaried position. And I'm like, yes, this is it. This is the promotion. But I am making less now than I made doing commissions, and I have no ability to go out and find myself more work. It's not a lot less. And their argument was that the health benefits that I get are going to make up for it so that it's going to be even. But
Yeah.
it felt like after working so hard for a year, and I even learned to do my coworkers' jobs so they could go on vacation.
Yeah.
And it feels like I deserve to step forward,
You
not
did. You
something
did.
that you have to argue is the same.
You did. And it hurts you, too. I can hear the emotion in your voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's what's so sad, and if it weren't sad, it would be funny. But they threw the benefits thing at you like that was going to make you go, "Oh, well, I didn't even think about that. Thanks, guys. Let me throw a party." And you're like, "What?" They threw that at you, and your heart went, "Wah, wah, wah." Am I right?
Well, I said to them, well, I'm 24, so I was still on my parents' plan, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm doing just fine paying my parents back for my health insurance every month.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not hurting for health insurance right now. And they're like, "Oh, so you want to pass on that?" I'm like, no.
Yep. Let me tell you what this
That's not
was.
what I meant.
Let me tell you what this was. They saved money on their balance sheet when they did this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you feel devalued.
Yeah.
And by the way, they did devalue you.
Yeah.
It's poor leadership. Good leadership says, Katie's busted her butt to the point that she's done everything we've asked her to do. And we saw how much she busted her tail. So we came to her and we said, "Hey, do some more." And she did. And she went so far as to helping others so they could go on vacation. She has done everything and then some. You knew your role, you accepted your role, and you maximized your role. The three things you've got to do to get promoted, and they didn't promote you. Shame on them. I think your days are done there, and I think you start looking for a much better environment, and now you know what to look for. Does this company that you were looking at, or multiple companies that you look at to move forward, does it offer for you a career ladder where you can move up if you do a good job? Because they develop you and they promote you, and there's a history of that. That's what you're looking for. But I'm sorry. You were the victim of poor leadership.
Well, I was just wondering, so whether I move on to a new company is not really a question right now.
Yeah.
Because I definitely don't want to be here forever and ever.
Good.
This was never my long-term goal. I didn't really want to be a reporter. I prefer to be something in editing or book publishing.
Sure.
But I'm wondering for right now, is it better to talk to my boss and tell him how I'm feeling and maybe try to work something out, or just to not say anything and just start looking?
Well, you just told me that it's not where you want to be long term.
Right.
So you're essentially having the conversation with him for a short-term Band-Aid. What would you hope to happen out of that?
I guess just to have my feelings acknowledged, but I guess that's not really his job.
Well, no. So no, I'm not trying to talk you out of it. I'm just going, what do you want to accomplish? Anytime we have a confrontational conversation, and this is confrontation, doesn't mean it's ugly. It just means you're going to confront him.
Right.
What do you want to come out of it? What would be ideal? And if it's just my feelings being hurt, I'd go, no, I wouldn't waste the time.
Yeah.
Until you leave. Then you share the feelings.
Right. Okay.
And not in a spiteful, I'm out of here, deuces way, right? But in a helpful way to him to go, hey, I know I'm supposed to move on, but I just want you to know that when this happened, this is how I felt. I'm not saying you intended that, but that'd be great for you to pass along when you leave. But to do it now, I don't, if all you want to accomplish is your feelings being hurt, I wouldn't do that until you leave. If you were saying, well, Ken, I want him to actually realize the error of his ways and pay me more, I'd go, great, but that's short term because you don't want to be there anyway. So I'd go, it's not worth it. Make sense?
Yeah, it does.
All right, Katie, listen to me. Get your chin up, even though this feels very personal, because you are a human being and all of your feelings are very normal. You're not being oversensitive here. This is also not personal. Do you hear me?
Okay.
Don't walk away from this like this is some very personal, mean-spirited thing. Poor leadership affects everybody. It is not personal in nature, even though it creates lots of yucky feelings, okay?
Right. I didn't take it personally. I actually like my boss. It just didn't like how I was treated.
So you know what? So share it that way when you leave.
Right.
Don't put him on the defensive. Just go, hey, I just think you would probably want to know this. I'm really bummed because I really like you. And I don't think that you were doing this on purpose, but it still was wrong.
Okay.
Because listen, I do things every day in my married life and here in the team situation. I'll do things sometimes that are wrong, but just because I go, well, I didn't mean to do it, doesn't take away from the fact that it's wrong.
Yeah, I think we all do.
We all do. It's called being a human. So there you go. All right, listen, I appreciate you. Get your head up. You're a fantastic young lady, and the best is yet to come. All right, Joe, let's do this. Let's have some fun. Bit of a heavy show today. How about we have some fun with some funny work fails? That just makes me so happy. I always say it, and I'm never going to stop saying how much I enjoy that noise, Joe. So fantastic. Okay, so we've got some visual aids today, right? It's kind of show and tell for our funny work fails. And so this is in honor of the Great Resignation, where we're going to see the experts say 40 to 48% of people are going to change jobs this year. So let's do this. These are funny I quit moments. So here we go. The first one Nathan's going to throw up. This is a bag of mints, and I really like the little note there. You can see, thanks for the employment. That's a nice touch. And we've got some, Stacey Coleman, by the way. Yeah. Her favorite candy, Amanda, is a York peppermint patty.
That's good stuff.
Many a night when I have to make that unexpected grocery stop for Mama, I score lots of points if I remember to grab a little bag of Junior Mints for the missus. So that's a nice touch there.
It's really nice.
Like, this is not burning a bridge. This is a really nice touch. Cheesy, yes. Effective, yes. I really like that one. Okay, the next one. What do we got here? We have an email that says, it's an autoresponder from a person who has quit. I am currently out of the office and don't plan on returning. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's talk about this one. High creative points.
Very creative.
Very creative, but a little bit of a bridge. We're not blowing it up, but maybe we've lit one side of the bridge on fire.
Little passive aggressive.
It's a little passive aggressive, but creative points. Okay, the next one. Let's see what we got here. This is somebody who drew a picture of a dinosaur, and it says, this is a drawing of a dinosaur. It is also my 2 weeks notice. Okay, so this is not creative. I know they think they're creative. By the way, I would say this is a very nice hand-drawn dinosaur.
It's a good picture.
That's a Quitosaurus Rex.
Oh, Joe. Joe takes the Dad Joke of the Week award right there. How long did you wait to say that, Joe? Did you?
5 seconds.
Oh, you just came up with that. The Quitosaurus Rex. Okay, but here's the deal. This is bad. But again, I guess I don't know the rest of the story. But you know what? At least it wasn't offensive. There are some really offensive things. We're going to be showing on the show soon. Are we committed to doing this? I want to get these TikTok firings.
I am fully committed.
And we're going to bleep out stuff so as not to offend anybody, but it's unbelievable what some of the youngsters are doing. I saw one on TikTok the other day because the team told me about this. And this gal, let's just say it was a Walmart or something. Nathan, I don't know if you've seen this. She grabs the microphone in one of the sections of the store and goes on live over the PA and just lets it rip. I mean, the cringe factor, Joe, you would have squirmed right out of your chair. So we're going to get some of those because what not to do. Okay, here we now have another one. This is called the cake letter. Oh, now see, I haven't even read this. To the Management Border Force, Stansted. Today is my 31st birthday. Having recently become a father, I now realize how precious life is and how important it is to spend my time doing something that makes me and other people happy. Hey, here we go. Come on now. For that reason, I hereby give notice of my resignation in order that I may devote my time and energy to my family and to my cake business. Okay, there it is, which has grown steadily over the past 2 years. I wish the organization and my colleagues the best for the future. And I remind you that if you enjoy this cake, you could order more. Woo! Chris, Mr. Cake. Now that is the way to do it. That's a nice touch because I'm guessing that Chris went in and talked to his leader about it and then presented the cake. That's well done. That's a 10. To me, that's a 10 resignation letter.
Yeah,
on
I
the
agree.
cake. Fantastic. Last one, the condolence card. What do we have here? Even though you knew this time would come, there's no way to prepare your heart for such a loss. Oh, it's the poem. That's so nice. That's very nice. I'm so sorry. How do I feel about this one? Very creative. Off the charts creative. I love this one. It's just below the cake if you hand it to your leader after you've talked to them, right? So, I mean, it's kind of a, you know what I mean? Kind of a wink, wink, funny. Sorry, I could have done the standard resignation letter. If this is not enough for HR, I'll write a regular one, but I thought I'd try to make it nice. If it's in that spirit, I'm giving that a 9.5. I like that. All right, good stuff. Fun stuff there as always. Hey, before I go, remember this. You matter, and you do have what it takes. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.
Yeah, they're great.